Hi, this is Julie Campbell with Two Peas in a Bucket, and as part of our colorful Christmas event that we have going on right now, I wanted to show you how I made a Christmas banner using a fun little Christmas color combo. My color combo is a little bit of an untraditional color scheme. I did go with a bright Christmas red, but along with that, I decided to pair a golden yellow shade along with a dark blue denim shade. So to start off, I selected just some different pattern papers that I have that fit the color category. These are all from October Afternoon. I've got some fun prints from American Crafts. This is mostly a cream paper, but it does have the golden yellow in a grid pattern. This is from Crate Papers, Peppermint Collection. I have this denim paper from the Random Collection from Crate Paper. This is from Pebbles, and this is by Amy Tangerine for American Crafts. So I took these colors and I designed some pennants on my Silhouette software. I also designed some letters that we can use to create a Christmas font. And I'm just going to show you quickly how I made that in my Silhouette software, and I will be right back. Okay, I have my Silhouette Studio software open, and I'm just going to show you how I created the pennants and the text that goes inside of each pennant. So the first thing that we're going to do is select the text key, and I'm going to change my font to a font called Lullaby, and this is a free font that you can get from dafont.com. So I'm just going to type in the words Merry Christmas. And as you can see, my text is very small. Each of the dark gray lines represents 1 inch, and I want each of my letters to be about 2 inches tall. So I'm going to increase the size of my lettering and just move that up on the page a bit. And then I'm going to go over to line spacing, and let's see, I want to bring the second line up a bit just to omit a little bit more paper wastage. Okay, so now my letters are all set to go. They can go ahead and go directly. I can select cut and pattern paper medium, send to my Silhouette, cut these out. So it's very simple. Okay, we're just going to move these out of the way for right now. Now we're going to bring in our banner pieces. I'm going to go to my library and type in the word banner. I'm going to use both of these banner files. Okay, and the pennant that I want to use is this little notched pennant shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on my file. I'm going to right click, select ungroup, and that's going to allow me to just use the image that I'm wanting to work with. We're going to do a similar thing with this file. I'm going to ungroup, but this time, since there are score lines in this pennant, we need to group the score line with the cut line. We're going to regroup, and that's going to allow me to move the entire image along with the score lines. Otherwise, one of the items will move with the other one remaining over here on the side, and we don't want to do that. So just going to move that up into this corner, and I want to see how my letters are going to fit inside of my pennant. So I'm just going to select my text again, right click, ungroup. That's going to allow me to move just one of the letters over to my cut mat, and as you can see, the smaller pennant is way too small. I'm just going to move this one over. I'm going to enlarge this pennant to fit. And let's see, that looks pretty good, so I'm going to move that back over. And then I'm going to resize the larger tabbed pennant. Looks like it's a little long, so I'm going to, there we go. Okay, it looks like everything will fit nicely, so I can go ahead and move my letter back in place. here's a simple way to create multiple images. Because all of my tabbed pennants are going to be cut out of the same paper, you can just click on the tab, go to Object, Replicate, Fill Page. And that's going to give me the maximum amount of images that can be cut on a 12 by 12 page. So now we would go back to the cutting area, send this to the silhouette. Very easy. You would do the same thing with a smaller pennant. Depending on how many different pieces of pattern paper that you wanted to use, you might just want to do one cut at a time. And that is basically all that you have to do. Very easy. Okay, I've made all of my digital die cuts, and I've made several different pennants from various papers. I also cut all of my lettering from the denim pattern paper, as well as all of the tabbed pennants are also from the denim pattern paper. So what I did from here, I took one of the smaller pennant pieces. I applied just a small bit of adhesive on the back just to hold it in place. And then from here, I'm going to use my sewing machine. I'm going to create a zigzag stitch around each of the borders of the pennants. And then I'm also going to fold each of the tabs that were created and scored, and I'm going to create a straight stitch just to hold the tabs closed so that they can be strung later to hang. One of the things I like to do when I'm working with pattern paper, especially this denim pattern paper, is to give it a little bit of a worn-in feel, kind of a feel like you've had a pair of blue jeans for a long time. So I just have a regular nail file, and I'm just going to go along the edges. And you'll start to see some of the white core of the paper coming through. It just gives it more of a homemade, homespun feel, and gives it the appearance that you've had something for a long time. Okay, so now if you can just imagine that I've already done all of my stitching, what I've done next is each of the letters, I've just turned them over, and then I've placed a couple of little foam adhesive dots on the back. And this is just going to pop our letters off of the pennant. It's going to make them a little bit easier to see, and it also gives it just some fun dimension. And since this is narrow, I'm just going to trim one of my little foam squares in half. And then this can just go directly on top of our pennants. Oops, looks like this one is showing through as well. We'll just take this one off for right now. Okay. Now these are cute just as they are, but I think it's fun to add a little bit of embellishments to each of the pennants. So what I did, I just went through my stash and I pulled out several different items that I thought would coordinate with the colors that we're using today. I have some wood veneer shapes, I've got some cute little tags. These are from October Afternoon, and these are from Jenny Bolin. These are really fun kits from October Afternoon. They have just a whole collection of different things in them. I also pulled out some buttons. These are crepe paper buttons, some other wooden shapes. Jelly Bean Soup makes some really cute buttons. And then I also pulled out some chipboard that I had. This is also from October Afternoon, the Boarding Pass collection. So you can do this any way that you like. You can just add little bits and bobbles here and there onto your pennant. Just try to make it your own. Okay, once you've finished embellishing each of your pennants, you're now ready to string them. So what I've done, I have torn very narrow strips of fabric and then place that through the end of a needle. You can use denim fabric like this. This is fabric that you can buy at a fabric store by by the yard. It's very nice and easy to work with. You could also use a thicker fabric, a denim fabric that you could find maybe from an old pair of jeans for this project. You could use ribbon, you could use baker's twine. There's lots of things that you could use. So basically we're just going to thread our denim through the tabbed pieces that we've created, and it just slides on nice and easily, and then you can just continue and put all of your letters in place. I just wanted to mention, if you don't have a Silhouette machine and you would like to create a project like this, that's fine. You can definitely do that. These are simple shapes. So, I mean, basically you can cut a rectangle with a notch on the end, and you could even punch holes and just thread baker's twine through a pennant that way. I just don't want you to feel limited because we've used a die cutting machine. Also, instead of the letters, you could use different types of chipboard stickers. You could, you could even print your own sentiment onto paper and cut each of those out. There's just a lot of things that you can do to create a similar effect. I hope that you've enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.